First bike, first car, and first DSLR are very special. Hey guys, I am Bishal, and in this video I'll be talking something about how to buy your first DSLR. So without wasting our time, let's get into it. But before, I want to thank all of you because we have crossed 100 subscribers. It means a lot for me. While buying a camera, you have to follow some important points, and that's bring us to our first point, that is the motive. Before you buy a camera, you have to decide for which motive you will buy the camera. Is it for photography or for videography? Now most of the people think that photography and videography are equal, but it's not true. Photography and videography are two branches of the same tree, but the problem is they have a wide separation between them, and that makes them different from each other. Sensor. There are two types of sensor, full frame sensor and cropped sensor. Now if you are in videography, you must buy the crop sensor because most of the time you will be shooting the subject and your main priority will be given to the subject. And if you are in photography, you can buy any one of the crop and full frame sensor. Now many people think that full frame sensor are best for photography, but it's not true. Both the sensors, that is crop and full frame sensor, are best for photography. The main advantage of the full frame sensor is that it performs its best in the low lighting conditions. How to differentiate between cameras? As I told that photography and videography are two branches, and there are some cameras which are best for only photography and there are certain cameras which are best for only videography. Now you can ask me that why the camera companies do so. Actually, photography and videography needs different specifications, and that's why the companies build their cameras in such a way. Even two cameras of the same budget might be built for different works. For example, Canon ES M200 and Nikon D5600 are two cameras of the same budget, but they are built for different works. You have to know about your needs first. If you are in videography, you don't require high FPS, high shutter speed. All you need is to look about, does the camera shoot 4K or not? Does the camera have video stabilizer or not? Again, videography gets divided into two parts, blogging and cinematography. People who are in blogging will prefer a camera that is very portable, and Canon EOS M200 is considered as the best blogging camera under 50,000. When you are in cinematography, you can't think about portability because that time you will be using high configuration lenses and you have to carry a lot with you. Similarly, photography gets divided into two parts based on the camera type. If you are in landscape, portrait, still life photography, you have to look for a higher megapixel camera. You can ignore the higher FPS, but you must have to look for a higher megapixel camera. And if you are in wildlife photography, you can ignore the megapixel count, but you have to look for a crop sensor and FPS and a faster autofocusing camera. For example, Sony Alpha ILCE 6000Y and Nikon D5600 are of same price range. The Sony camera has 176 autofocusing point and can shoot in 11 fps, but the Nikon camera have only 39 autofocusing points with 5 fps. So all the wildlife photographers will buy Sony, and all the portrait, landscape and still life photographers will buy Nikon camera. Budget. Now in this point I will try to clear all your doubts about buying a camera, and at the end of the video I'll suggest some camera which are best in a particular branch. Let's know that how the camera price increases or decreases. The cameras with crop sensor come at a lower price as compared to that of the full frame sensor cameras, and their lenses are also very cheaper than that of the full frame sensor cameras. If you are in a budget of 30 to 60,000, you have to buy the crop sensor, and if you can spend more than 70,000, you can buy the full frame sensor cameras. DSLR or mirrorless? Now this is the basic question that is asked by the beginners, but here I will suggest you to buy a DSLR because it's very cheaper than those of the mirrorless, and it has a wide range of lenses as compared to that of the mirrorless. The reason why people buy mirrorless is that it's very updated, and there are many features in mirrorless that are not available in DSLRs. But I will suggest you to buy a DSLR because it has a very wide range of lenses and it's cheaper than those of the mirrorless cameras. Fifth is the brand. Now I will recommend you to go for a Nikon camera if you are in photography, because Nikon cameras have a brilliant color contrast coming out of their pictures, but the autofocusing management of the Nikon cameras are not so good. Whereas the Canon cameras are very brilliant in their autofocus, but the color contrast coming out of their pictures are not so good. This is an information for all my viewers. I will suggest some cameras and all my suggestions are based on my personal choice. It's possible that for a third person, these cameras doesn't prove the best. Hope you have liked the video, and if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe and मिलते हैं किसी और वीडियो में.